don't Democrats want safe cities? That's not a rhetorical question. That's actually the $1 million question. Because if safety, law, and order and thriving families were the goal, then the Congressional Black Caucus and the Democrat overlords that monitor them, you would think that they would have delivered safety years ago, decades ago even. But instead, what do we see? Guys, we see crime and corruption, lots of dependency. We see poverty, and these politicians are living like kings while their people live like pawns. And Donald Trump, well, love him or hate him, I get it. I know it's a hard pill to swallow, but Trump has exposed just how easy it is to bring order to a city when you actually want it. So today, we're going to be talking about why are Democrats refusing to let that happen? I've cracked the code and I'm bringing you the truth, whether you like it or not. So let's get into this. Grace and peace, you guys. Welcome to Unshakable with April Chapman, where we discuss all things social, cultural, political, and theological from a biblical perspective. I am your host, April Chapman, and welcome to today's show. Today's episode, y'all, is going to be like so many of my other shows that have rustled your feathers. But honestly, if you know me by now, y'all know I don't care. I don't care because the truth has to be told. And as you know, it's the truth that truly makes us free. So what I want to do is I have to set the stage for you. I want to start out by going back to the question that I asked in my opening. I asked you a question and I said, why don't Democrats want safer cities? But we actually need to rephrase that and turn that into a declarative statement. Democrats do not want safe cities. It's not a question. I am declaring it. Democrats do not want safe cities. I know y'all are like, oh me, oh my, April, why? Why would you say such a thing? Well, because chaos maintains their power. It is so simple. I know I've been talking a lot about communism and Marxism, and to many people out there, I know that those terms don't really mean much to you. However, from what we know about communism, the goal has always been to spread its godless, anti-Christian ideology all over the world. And so if you stay with me for a moment, I'm going to help bring this all together so you can see this picture very, very clearly. What does communism look like? Well, for one, the most obvious and glaring signs of communism is poverty. You always have one party rule, crime-infested ghettos where people are broken and dependent and they are kept on their knees. Well, if that doesn't sound just like any run-of-the-mill American inner city, I don't know what does. I am arguing that our cities have effectively been transformed into communist-style blocks, just like the Communist International envisioned it to be. This was on purpose. And now let me take it a step further. The Democrat overseers, particularly the Congressional Black Caucus, they live well. They live well. They get into office, and then amazingly overnight, their net worth just skyrockets. It's like they become worth a whole lot of money. And the people that they oversee, the people that they congressionally represent, let's use, the appropriate vernacular. These people, they stay trapped in horrible housing conditions, and they're just poor. They are poor, begging for crumbs. Their idea for the Congressional Black Caucus, their idea of affordable housing is like putting a bunch of people on top of each other, and you own no land and you're happy about it. And then they pat themselves on the back like they did something. And then the welfare dependency, that's off the charts. That is the only language that these people know. Got to give them lots of welfare. We got to give more food stamps. We got to give them more Section 8. We got to give them free health care. We got to give them a Head Start. Don't forget the Head Start. We got to give them free internet, free Obama phones. We got to give these people even free injection sites. I mean, these people will come up with all kinds of toxic and destructive and free things, which is nothing more than a bunch of poisonous crumbs, if you will. And they do it to keep them dependent and to keep people coming back for more. And so anytime someone tries to rise up and, actually do better for themselves, or if they find something that's going to offer them better, what happens? They slap you down. Oh, you want school choice? Oh no. You can't have school choice. What's wrong with you? You can't even have a choice what you inject into your own body. What makes you think we're going to give you school choice? Don't you know that the money from the teachers union, we got to keep that flowing in, and if we give you school choice, we won't get the money from the teachers union? No. We make these decisions for you. Oh, you want safe streets? Oh no. That's a no can do. Oh God, the safe streets. Now we can't do that. You can't have safe streets. You don't know that if you have safe streets, then we won't have to keep promising you that we're going to provide you with the safest streets, right? Safe streets mean order and civility, and we can't have that. Y'all, they need people distracted. They need them depressed. They need people utterly afraid so that you keep on voting for them just in hopes that things will get better. By the sweet by and by, they are hoping things get better. You want freedom from government dependency? Absolutely not. That's not on the menu. It's no different than when a woman is married to an abusive man. He doesn't want her to do anything without his approval. He don't let her go too far from home. He don't let her have a whole lot of friends talking on the phone. They got to cut that out. If you get the will and the desire to just even try to earn your own way, the Democrats can't have that, because you actually might get a clue and start making better decisions, and they cannot have that. I am telling you, they need you controlled. The more controlled, the better it is for them. It's for their power. So we got to talk about this Ponzi scheme of power. The Ponzi scheme of power, it has to keep the machine running. That's what it is. So what do? Well, first we got to start with taxes, right? They tax the middle class. And the reason why they tax the middle class is because they know the middle class, as we know it, if there's even such a thing left, will actually work because they have a healthy doctrine of work, and they don't want the handouts. So they tax the middle class, tax us to death, and then they'll redistribute the crumbs to maintain more dependency. So they take your money, give it to people who haven't earned it or worked for it, and they don't care, but they'll pretend that this is compassion. We got to care for the least of these, but it's not compassion. This is control. It is really control. I call it the Miss Millie Democrat syndrome. Don't you see it? Y'all seen The Color Purple? When you watch The Color Purple, there's this character. I don't know who alive has not seen The Color Purple. If you haven't, I'm not going to take your black card. And if you white, you're going to get a pass. But in The Color Purple, Miss Millie is this character. She's the mayor's wife in this little town in Hartwell County, Georgia, where the movie is set. And this other character, Miss Sophia, is this, bigger black woman, and she's a wife and a mom, and she's got her kids with her, and they are well groomed and cleaned. And one day, Miss Sophia and Miss Millie have this little random encounter at the filling station. It's called a gas station. And when Miss Millie sees Miss Sophia and her well groomed and well behaved children, she makes this statement like, wouldn't you like to come work for me and be my maid? And then she's kissing all on the kids and just making this big fuss out of them. And Miss Sophia's like, hell no. That's actually what the character Miss Sophia says. And there's this other scene where Miss Millie is trying to drive. She's trying to drive her car. And she can't figure it out because she always got people doing stuff for her. And there's this group of black men who are not trying to harm Miss Millie. They're just trying to help Miss Millie. But Miss Millie start freaking out, and in her mind, she's thinking they're rebelling, but they're not. They're just trying to ascertain and find out, okay, what's going on? Can we help you? And she starts going off, talking about, I'm always going out of my way for you coloreds. That is the Democrat Party, especially the Congressional Black Caucus. When I call it, they just like the Miss Millie character from The Color Purple. She needs a Miss Sophia to need her. And for Miss Sophia, when she tried to get just like a little bit of freedom, here come Miss Millie, crying with the sob story about how, she just needs Miss Sophia because without her, she just won't be able to make it out on her own. I call the Democrats. It's the Miss Millie effect. How we saw Maxine Waters. I almost lost track of her name. We saw Maxine Waters when people in her congressional district actually tried to ask questions to hold her accountable. What did we see? Miss Millie came out. Ain't nobody done better for y'all than me. Okay? I've always gone out of my way for you colors.
I want everybody to go home. And I want
we don't got no home. Okay. That's why we here. Miss McKinney took Miss Waters, can you home we gonna go to?
Just a moment. Nothing is going to happen here today. Nothing is going to happen anymore today.
So what about all these names
what we're gonna,
telephone
well,
numbers
that's
what can you see working hard to help? Can you
That's why I'm here. And so I will be downtown with LASA. I will get the housing authority. That's why they came out here today. I made them come out here. And I'm going to go.
And you need to know why they're failing, because Blanca Jimenez repeated, we gave her several meeting requests for you concerning this in LASA for years.
Well,
and now they sit you
there's
here.
nobody in Washington who works for their people in harder than I do.
I believe you.
I don't want to hear that.
I believe you. So can we finish though? Work with me. Work with me so we can house people. That's what I'm doing.
I do everything.
I've always gone out of my way for you colors. We saw it come out. What I've just described, that is essentially exactly who the Congressional Black Caucus is. We can call them the Miss Millie Democrats. These so-called representatives, right? They don't represent the black community. They represent the Democrat Party's grip on the black community. Do you see the difference? Their only goal is to get reelected. And how do they do that? By keeping their voters dependent. Maxine Waters, Jim Clyburn, funky looking Al Green, Hank Johnson and his ignorant self down here in Georgia, all of them, they make me sick because they're all just a bunch of sellout frauds. And they have hurt the black community more than any racist white ever could. So you need to look at them jokers right there and say, it is you. It is you right over there that we need to lay the reason why our cities are trash. Why? Because they're the ones in power. The Congressional Black Caucus is they're the ones that have the grip in the inner cities, that have all the crime, coupled with the melanated Marxist-minded Negro inner city mayors. The ones that are black, they're all Democrat. They have to have the people dependent on them because that equals power. Dependency equals power. Safety and independence, well, that would mean a loss of control, and they can't have that. So I know you're trying to see or figure out, why am I coming so hard on the Congressional Black Caucus? Why am I, in general, the sentiment, not from all of you, my core audience, they know me. But there are some of you out there, they're like, it's all you do is talk about black people and Democrats. Yes. I spend a great deal of time talking about black Democrats. Because just like the Pharisees in the New Testament, it's them jokers over there that I lay the blame as to why things are so bad in the communities that they claim to love and serve. But here's the good news. It's a new day. It's a new day because Donald Trump is exposing the lie. Oh, he's exposing a lie. All you have to do is look at what has happened now that a Republican like Trump has stepped in. He stepped in and he is cracking down on crime, cleaned up DC. And it's not just the crime, but it's the beautification of it all. And then he's got his eyes set on Chicago. So he steps up and he says, since you won't do it, hold my beer. And now look at how they're responding. Look how they respond. Matter of fact, take a look at this.
There is no emergency in Chicago that calls for armed military intervention. There is no insurrection. There is no insurrection. Like every major American city in both blue and red states, we deal with crime in Chicago. Indeed, the violent crime rate is worse in red states and red cities. Here in Chicago, our civilian police force and elected leaders work every day to combat crime and to improve public safety. And it's working. Not one person here today will claim we have solved all crime in Chicago, nor can that be said of any major American metro area. But calling the military into a U.S. city to invade our streets and neighborhoods and disrupt the lives of everyday people is an extraordinary action, and it should require extraordinary justification. Look around you right now. Does this look like an emergency? Look at this. Go talk to the people of Chicago who are enjoying a gorgeous afternoon in this city. Ask the families buying ice cream on the Riverwalk. Go see the students who are at the beach after school. Talk to the workers that I just met taking the water taxi to get here. Find a family who's enjoying today sitting on their front porch and ask if they want their neighborhoods turned into a war zone by a wannabe dictator. Ask if they'd like to pass through a checkpoint with unidentified officers in masks while taking their kids to school.
If you listen to these Democrats talk, it's actually saying so much more about them than it is about Donald Trump. He is a master chess player. What Donald Trump is doing is he is showing America that making cities safe is not rocket science. Like, it's just called law and order. It ain't been that hard. It's literally called do your freaking job. He's doing their job. Basically, you enforce the law by absolutely not fudging the numbers, making it look like crime is down. You're just not reporting it properly. But you don't fudge the numbers, you prosecute the crime. You don't send social workers and pour millions of dollars into these organizations whose job is to provide intervention during a crime as if that's actually going to help bring crime down. Like, only an idiot would believe that something like that would work. I mean, when I hear, I think it was Governor Pritzker made the statement about, all the investments that we've been doing into the community policing and the organization to bring intermediaries and intercessors at the scenes of these crimes. We've been having great success.
We invested historic amounts into community violence intervention programs. We listened to our local communities, to the people who live and work in the places that are most affected by crime, and asked them what they needed to help make their neighborhoods safer. Those strategies have been working.
Like, really? You prosecute crime by holding criminals accountable, and then suddenly, look at that, the murder rate drops. Would you look at that? It's amazing how that works and how fast it was able to take place. Matter of fact, listen to this brain dead malarkey. Listen to this.
Donald Trump wants to use the military to occupy a U.S. city, punish his dissidents, and score political points. If this were happening in any other country, we would have no trouble calling it what it is, a dangerous power grab. Look at the people assembled before you today, behind me. This is a full cross-section of Chicago's leaders from the business world, the faith community, law enforcement, education, community organizations, and more. We sometimes disagree on how to effectively solve the many challenges that our state and our city face on a daily basis. But today we are standing here united, in public, in front of the cameras, unafraid to tell the president that his proposed actions will make our jobs harder and the lives of our residents worse. Earlier today in the Oval Office, Donald Trump looked at the assembled cameras and asked for me personally to say, "Mr. President, can you do us the honor of protecting our city?" Instead, I say, "Mr. President, do not come to Chicago."
Do you see this? They're not mad because it doesn't work. Oh, it works. They're mad because it does work. And it exposes their decades of deliberate neglect. Now we can prove and see, oh, this hasn't been an insurmountable, problem that we haven't been able to figure out to fix. No, now we know that their decades of deliberate neglect is the reason why the cities are like this to begin with. Trump is forcing them to show their hand. They don't actually want safe cities. They want chaos. The more they talk, the more the truth actually comes out. I'm so here for all of it. But let me explain to you. The evil logic of Democrats. You see, Democrats are king of the ashes, okay? Like, they can't rule thriving, independent people, like freedom-loving, just functioning their freedom. They can't function. They can't have that. That's like garlic to a vampire, right? Like they can only rule over dysfunction. This is why people like Kamala Harris would promote Meg the Stallion or a Sexy Red or a Cardi B. Yes, let's give the people more thugs, hoes, and rappers. Like, who? Only a dysfunctional person would say that. Cardi B speaking on behalf or endorsing Kamala Harris, that is wild to me. But it's who they are. This is why they celebrate people like Billy Porter, right? Like a whole hairy-legged man in a dress. That ain't nothing more dysfunction. That's all it is. And they love the Disney movies with all the freak nasty stuff in it. More dysfunction. If it ain't dysfunctional, Democrats don't want no parts of it. I mean, matter of fact, this is some weird, but still, nonetheless, just look at this dysfunction.
Islamic Indigenous cause, Amigdodam, Saginaw Chippewa Dojaba, and Anishinaabe Kwe and Dow. The DNC acknowledges and honors the Dakota Oyate, the Dakota people, who are the original stewards of the lands and waters of Minneapolis. The Dakota cared for the lands, lakes, and the Wapatonka, the Great River, the Mississippi River, for thousands of years before colonization. This land was not claimed or traded. It's a part of a history of broken treaties and promises. And in many ways, we still live in a system built to suppress Indigenous peoples' cultural and spiritual history.
Kilmar is our neighbor. You can't have him Trump. Kilmar is our neighbor. You can't have him Trump. Kilmar is our neighbor. You can't have him Trump. Kilmar is our neighbor. You can't have him Trump. Leave him be. Leave him be. Leave him be. Leave him be again. Kilmar is our neighbor. You can't have him Trump. No! Kilmar is our neighbor. You can't have him Trump. Kilmar is our neighbor. You can't have him Trump. Leave him be. Let him free. 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 Let him free.
What the heck? Like, how is any of this normal? Like, it's not. I'm telling you, dysfunction is the lifeblood of the Democrat Party. This is why we see soft on crime policies and cashless bail and prosecutors who refuse to charge violent criminals. These people are not incompetent. No, their dysfunction is intentional. It's on purpose. They need the chaos because in the presence of anarchy, they maintain control. That is the overarching theme that I want you to understand that I've been trying to convey this entire video. Because listen, I never thought in a million years that I'd have to carry a personal firearm. I was just like, oh no, we got the police. If something pop off, you just call the cops. No. Right around 2020 or so, at Summer of Love crap and BLM, no. When crime exploded, thanks to Democrat lawlessness, that's when I bought not one, but 4 firearms. I mean, you can never have too many, right? I bought 4, and we probably got a few more on the way. I'm just saying, I took it upon myself to protect me because I know that Democrats don't care and they don't give a darn about you. And as long as you're begging them for protection, they win. And it's not over here. No way, no how. Not gonna happen. Let me contrast all that I've said so far, all of that, with just some common sense, right? Like, look at Trump, y'all. Donald Trump, listen, if I was him, I'd be sitting at Mar-a-Lago playing golf, and I'd probably ignore all this mess. I'd be like, listen, I got more money than a little bit. I could be doing anything else but worried about what's going on in these Democrat-run hellholes. But he doesn't do that. Why is that? Someone at least has to ask, why doesn't he do that? And it's because he ain't perfect. He needs Jesus just like the rest of us, but it's just the right thing to do. What kind of leader just sits when they see things incredibly bad and then just does nothing? I mean, a leader who does that is a leader that just doesn't give a darn. If you look back in the 90s, Giuliani cleaned up New York and Donald Trump is cleaning up DC. And if he has his way, he is going to rinse and repeat everywhere else these low down, dirty Democrat jokers rule. And he's going to clean those places up too. Oh, and we know that the fake news media is on to him because Democrats, they're attacking him, calling him and what he's doing racist. They're doing that left and right. But every day, people are seeing the difference. They are noticing the improvement in the immediate here and now, and people are thankful. People are thankful. They are thankful for finally having a secure border. They are thankful for safer streets, thankful for a president who isn't afraid to confront the mess. He's got, if you think about it, Trump has one term to accomplish so much. And I don't give a darn what anybody says. You have got to give credit where credit is due. But these freak nasty Democrats, what do these Democrats, what do they do? No. You think they're grateful? You think they would say, you know what, this is a 80-20 issue. I don't even have to like Trump, but I could just jump on the bandwagon and then maybe on the back end take credit for it. No, they don't do that. They don't do that because they have so much hatred in their hearts that they are blind to how they could even piggyback off of this issue and make it work in their favor. Hatred blinds you. Just listen to them talk. They are so consumed with hatred for Donald Trump that they will sabotage their own cities rather than admit that he's right and then look stupid doing it. That's how you know that these fools are crazy. Trump is a terror to Democrats, and this is why they resist him so much, because they are evil. If you look at what Romans 13, it explains it so well. When it says that rulers are not a terror to good conduct, but to bad. And if you understand that the role of government is to uphold justice and restrain evil, but the Democrats, they flip it upside down. They reward the evil and punish the good. And then these fools will stand there and gaslight you as if something is wrong with you, right? Like this is why I'm confident in saying that this is not just political. There is a spiritual component to this. Only evil loves chaos. Evil loves chaos. Evil loves disorder. And that's what we are up against. Pure evil. What else can you call it? It's not just a blind misguidance. No, this is pure evil. But you know what? Thanks be to God. So many people, you guys, are waking up. They're sick of the lawlessness. They're sick of the lawlessness. They're sick of living under these overseers. And so the jig is up. I'm telling you, the days of Democrat-controlled chaos are numbered. And I will continue to make content like this to wake the masses up. So to answer the question, why don't Democrats want safe cities? It's because Democrats don't want safe cities, because safe cities would mean them losing control. But the tide is turning. Okay, listen, the tide is turning and Americans are finally seeing the truth. So if you're tired of lawlessness, I want you to speak up and share this episode. You share this show. You let the people know that dependency and chaos are not the answer. It's freedom and order. Those are the solutions. But I'm curious to know from you guys, what do you guys think? Like, do you believe that Democrats really don't want law and order and, they're just struggling how to find, like the right combination of things to achieve the goal? Or do you believe, no, girl, these jokers absolutely do not want safe cities? You're like, April, girl, you are right. I agree with you. You are spot on. And there were no lies detected. Whatever it is that you think, I want you to leave me a comment down below. And until next time, you guys, stand firm, stay bold, and above all else, stay unshakable. Grace and peace. To ask yourself, why don't Democrats want safe cities? Like, really think about it. They've run American major cities for decades, and what do we see? Well, we see a lot of crime and chaos, lots of poverty, and a whole lot of dependency. I do want you to realize this isn't an accident. I know you think it's just how the cards have been dealt, but it's not. Members of the Congressional Black Caucus and Democrat mayors, y'all, they thrive on disorder. You're like, oh, how so, April? Let me explain. Chaos keeps you dependent, and dependency keeps them in power. They tax the middle class, redistribute crumbs, and then have the nerve to call it compassion. But the truth is, this is about control. Y'all, they are king of the ashes. If the people rise up, demand school choice and demand safety, oh, they slap that down. You can't have no school choice. No, you can't have that. And then here comes Donald Trump exposing the lie. With just one stroke of the pen, he shows exactly how easy it is to restore order. You just enforce the law, prosecute the crime, and suddenly, I don't know, the murder rate just drops. And what have we seen Democrats do? Oh, they attack him for cleaning up their mess. Why? Because they need the chaos. That is why. It's really simple. Trump doesn't have to do this. I mean, listen, he could be sitting in Mar-a-Lago, minding his business, ignore all of this, and watch it all burn. But he wants to do the right thing. But meanwhile, Democrats, in their hatred, are so blinded by their hatred, they'd rather see the cities burn than to admit that Donald Trump is right. But the thing is, I break all of this down in my latest episode over on Unshakable with April Chapman. I don't want you to miss this one. We have to have these discussions, so click the link, watch the full episode, and then ask yourself the question, do Democrats really want safe cities, or do they want control? The full episode is up on my channel. Stay unshakable. I'll see you in the video.